Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the Post Route Show. And now, here's your host, W. Earl Kitchings.
Hey, good evening and welcome to another edition of the Post Route. I'm your host, W. Earl Kitchings. And as always, what we enjoy doing is bringing you another episode of the Post Route Show where we talk to Black quarterbacks, past and present. As we always tell you, this show is proudly brought to you by Quarter Five Back, the preeminent. Make sure you understand that the preeminent fraternity of Black quarterbacks and home of the prestigious BIP Memorial Trophy, the only national award that honors and recognizes the top Black quarterback from a HBCU and the top Black quarterback from high schools around the country. We are always excited and enjoy having you join us on Monday nights. So please help us out by doing a few things to support our efforts and what we're doing. Number one, hit the like button. Number two, subscribe to the channel. Number three, tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Number four, please visit us on our Instagram pages at quarter_5_back. That's our Instagram handle. Follow us there. And then, of course, go to our website at quarter5back.com where you can pick up information about quarterbacks, past and present in our newsletter. We have a blog. You hit that blog icon and it'll take you to all the great newsletters we've been doing since 2023. And I guarantee you will learn something about a Black quarterback you knew nothing about. Join us every Monday night here live for another phenomenal show at 7 p.m. No matter whether it's football season, basketball, base, it does not matter because for us, it's always football season. Well, of course, we all know that this past week, the NFL did their thing and had the 2026 draft. And rightfully so, there were some quarterbacks selected. However, from our perspective here at the Post Route and Quarter Five Back, it was not the same kind of outcome that we had seen in previous years. So let me just give you the 411 about the NFL 2026 draft as it related to Black quarterbacks. So there were 10 quarterbacks drafted totally, drafted. One of them was Black, and that was Taylor Green from Arkansas. Then there were 10 undrafted free agents, and only one of them was Black. There were no picks or undrafted free agents from a Black college. Now, although that may paint a gloom picture, that's just the reality of it. And sometimes it's going to be a lot more than others. I am concerned, though, that the Cleveland Browns have now made their quarterback room have 3 Black quarterbacks by drafting Taylor Green. So now, are they going to have 4 quarterbacks on the roster this year, or somebody's got to go? And just who might that somebody be if they have to make that change? But nonetheless, just understand that, hey, this is the way it is. And sometimes some teams are going to have more than others. Some teams in the NFL don't have any. But no matter what, it is what it is. And in 2025, here's the history. 16 of the 32 teams that started the 2025 football season started with a Black quarterback at the starting position. Now, we are working on a newsletter that is going to feature all the Black quarterbacks who have been drafted. I must emphasize drafted since 1955. And since then, there have only been 20 since 1955 who were drafted. And not all of them were drafted at that position. The last Black quarterback from a Black college was in 2006, Tavares Jackson from Alabama State, picked in the second round with the 64th pick by the Minnesota Vikings. You may wonder, well, who was the first one, Earl? Well, the first one was a guy by the name of Charlie Choo Choo Brackens. Charlie Brackens played at Prairie View A&M and was the first black quarterback from an HBCU drafted in 1955 by the Green Bay Packers. The highest black quarterback from an HBCU drafted 1995, the great one, Steve Air McNair, Alcorn State. That is just a little bit of the history to kind of prep you for what's coming down the road. But in 2026, Taylor Green was drafted by the Cleveland Browns, and free agent Jalen Daniels from Kansas was selected by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a free agent. So we'll prepare that newsletter and get back to you. But tonight, our guest is a rising freshman. He'll be a freshman in the fall. He's leaving high school and getting ready to take his talents to the West Coast. This young man has played 2 years of varsity football in the state of Indiana. This past year, he played at Fort Wayne Northside High School. The Legends is the nickname of his school. And I had to look up, why did their name become the Legends? Because most schools have a different mascot name, but I had to figure out why Legends. So in 2016, the students changed things at Northside High School. Their nickname used to be the Redskins, but the school adopted a new nickname in 2016 called the Legends, and it symbolized resilience and rebirth at a school and in an area and a community that was rebuilding and to help with the school's enduring experience. Last year, he played in 11 games, threw for 2,506 yards, 22 touchdowns, had a QB rating of 113.7. In his 2 years of varsity football, he's thrown for 3,200 plus yards and 28 touchdowns. Please join me in welcoming our guest tonight from Fort Wayne, Northside High School, former quarterback, Mr. Jaydin Rivers. Jaydin, welcome to the Post Route, my man.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Well, I got to tell you, man, I had to look up that nickname for your high school, man, because when I saw Legends, I'm like, Legends, why did they come up with that name? As opposed to anybody else, they came up with something that was dynamic, Legends. And when I read up about why it was, it's like, okay. And I'm like, man, when you're playing in the game and they always say the Legends ball, Legends first down, it's always Legends, man. It's got to make you believe that you're something special. What was it like? Because I know your junior year, you transferred from Warren Central over in Indianapolis and you moved over to Fort Wayne. What was it like, though, becoming the starting quarterback your senior year, having never played at that high school?
It was a new experience for me. At first I had to come in and, gain the guys' respect. I just had to go in there, put my head down, not be big-headed, and just be there for the guys and be there for my team. Coming from a 6A program, I couldn't have a big head. I just stayed down to earth and just being there for my team and really just being a leader in the offseason, coming to the ways, putting in work every day, 110% with the guys and just being there for them.
How were your teammates, your new teammates, how did they respond to you coming? What was their thoughts? And did it take a long time before everybody kind of meshed together, or man, it didn't take long at all because they had a good feeling about you?
Man, the guys, as soon as I got there, everybody, was at lifts. We had after school lifts every day. It was the whole team was there, to 30 to 50 players on the team every day, lifting, getting work in, spring practice. It didn't really take long for me to gain the guys' respect because, I fit in well with those guys. They knew that I was serious about, the whole season and winning for them. And it didn't really take long to gain those guys' respect at all, no.
Now, had you played Fort Wayne when you were at Warren Central, or y'all never played each other?
Never played them.
Did they know about you?
No, not really. Not at all. It was just a moving situation.
Wow, man. So here you come in, kind of a new kid. I mean, now, plus you got a new environment in the schoolhouse itself because everybody's looking at like, well, that's our new quarterback. Well, okay, who is he and what he what is he going to do? But it's good to hear that you got in with your teammates, man, and made that connection, man, because you being a leader, you being a quarterback, you being that iconic position on the field, man, everything revolves around you. And if you came in there and made it real simple and easy for those guys to connect with you, hey, man. So now, who became one of your favorite teammates once you got there, man?
My favorite teammates, I would have to say Malik Moore. He's a 4-star wide receivers
Okay.
slash safety. He's an athlete. He was a game changer for real. Like he making plays on both sides of the ball. Everything that we needed him to do, he was there for, including everybody else. You know, so I was pretty cool with everybody on the team. It was just me and him. We had a connection like no other. One game, me and him both broke records for our school. He had five receiving touchdowns. I had 6 passing touchdowns. So just it was just Malik Moore.
Well, and I wasn't wanting to put you guys on the spot, but there's always that thing where you get along with everybody, man, but then there's that one guy, man, that y'all just connect. Y'all get like that. Y'all get like, man, that's my guy. That's my guy. And man, once you get a guy like that, man, and he's at that level like you, man, you guys bond like y'all got a lifetime bond, man. That's all I can say. It's a lifetime bond. No matter where you guys go, y'all gonna be bonded forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, another guy too. My guy Sebastian Moore. He was another one of my favorite guys to even with on and off the field. You know, he's actually going to Ball State to play defensive back. But me and his connection was great as well too.
Okay. Now I want you to make sure you show some love to them guys who was blocking for you up front, man, because they don't get no love.
Yeah, them guys are great for me. I was really impressed the whole season. I love my offensive line. You know, I told them if I didn't get sacked, I would buy them pizza, and I bought them pizza. So them guys were well fed, and they were well ready to go to war for me if they had to, and they did every Friday.
Well, I want you to shout out some of their names, man, because they need to know that you really, really care, man. It's like, man, you was on TV, you don't call our name. So
you got Darian Goodwin, that's my guy. That's the big dog on the offensive line. He let up 0 sacks all year. You got Quincy Smith, you got Lavardis, you got Lavardis, you got Quincy Smith, you got Darian Goodwin, you got all those guys. Just those are the ones that I can name off the top of my head right now. But those guys, all the whole offensive line group, they worked all year. So those guys, kudos to them because I stayed healthy all year, no injuries. Just those, I love those guys for real. That's a blessing.
Well, let me tell you, man, I looked at you guys' record, and I mean, even though it was 6-5, except for the Homestead game, you guys were in every game you played in. I mean, most of the time it was either a touchdown or less that you lost by, other than the Homestead game. So that told me that, man, you guys were always in the battle, always in the trenches fighting, and a play here or there could have made things different. But, the 6 and that's why I had to go and look at, well, okay, I see 6-5, but what's behind the 6-5? And like I said, I only saw one game that, you guys really got handled. But other than that, you guys look like y'all were handling y'all business.
Behind the 6-5, the record really doesn't say it all because, those games are just lost, like you said, by 1 touchdown or just a little points. It was really just little mistakes. And, I kind of take fault to those because, I'm a quarterback. Every loss, every win comes with my name on the front of it. So really just we're really a tight team. Me and the guys it was really those losses really defined us because every loss that we took, we always bounced back. We never put our head down. We never quit on each other. We never said this is over. We will always bounce back every week off of every loss and just come back 10 times better. Win, lose, or draw, I'm with my guys 10 toes. So those guys really just being a team and, just connecting, really just those losses did not define us at all.
Well, I'm sure they'll be glad to hear that, man, because like I said, sometimes people see records and they think one thing, but you got to look, you got to peel back a couple of layers to find out what's really going on. And, like I said, when I saw that, I was like, okay, one game, Yeah, but the rest of them, no, some folks didn't want to. Some folks didn't want to see Fort Wayne Northside because it's like, dude, it's gonna be a fight now. You know, it's gonna be a fight. Don't think you're gonna just come up in their house and dominate and do what you want to do. So, yeah, kudos to all your guys, man. What was your relationship with your position coach and your head coach, being that they were new to you also?
Man, my position coach and head coach, Coach Crody and Coach BJ, my head coach. I love those guys. Me and Coach BJ, we would be on the phone every single day during off season, during the season. He'll call me after practice, text me every day, just talking about not even just football, just life in general. He wasn't just a coach, but he was just a great person and just a great secondary figure for me. Even though my dad's in my life, he's a great person, but he was just that second figure for me on the football field just to come to about anything. And me and his relationship was just the best. Even Coach Courtney, I can come to him about anything football related, non-football related. Those guys were just very great coaches to me and great mentors for me to prepare for the college level.
Well, it's nothing like having great coaches and great mentors, man, because when they pour those kind of things in you, it's like pass it on. So we're sending you out, Jaydin, to take what we gave you, take it somewhere, and then you give it to somebody else, and hopefully it'll just keep, going like that. So good to hear that the relationship was good, man, and that everybody got along, because new situations can sometimes cause some uneasiness. I won't say anything other than that, but I'm glad that everything worked out for you guys, and you were able to put it together. What was your favorite game to play in this past year?
My favorite game to play in was the Concord game, or a section championship game.
Okay.
That was my favorite game. It was actually my best performance all year. I had 17 carries for 100 and over 150 yards. I went 28 for 30. I had 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown. Just really, that was just an excellent game for just in general for us, the whole team. It was just, we came up short, but that's just how things go. Even after the game, we all still were tight. So
yeah,
that was my favorite game.
What are your thoughts about the brand of high school football in Indiana compared to maybe states like Florida, Texas, California, that state that's right by you, Ohio? How would you rate Indiana high school football compared to some of the other states?
I'll say Indiana football is really on the rise. We got some guys even in the lower classes as us in the class of 27. Like I said, League Moore down in Fort Wayne, down in Indy, you got Monster and Sales, Bama. Quarterback wise, you got quarterbacks all over the state of Indiana that are best, that are just like one of the top guys. Some guys that I can shout out is Jermichael from Maryville. You got Oscar Fry from Brownsburg. Quarterbacks like those, just those that can just compete on the national level, and just the state in general. Athletes, we're really rising up to the competition in the country. As you can see, Indiana, they just won the national championship. So Indiana football, just in general, is starting to come up.
Well, it definitely is a big deal now that Indiana is national champs, uh, because we all know that the state of Indiana is all about basketball.
Yeah.
But Indiana Hoosiers flipped that this past year, and it makes it a little easier for coaches to recruit guys out of Indiana now and keep them in the home state. So yeah, I think that's a big plus. And for you to understand the value and the fact that Indiana high school football is on the rise, man, that says that you're really paying attention to what's going on. And so were you cheering for Indiana this past year, man, as they were going through all of that?
Yes, for sure. I was for sure cheering for them.
Well, give me your thoughts about Fernando Mendoza.
Fernando Mendoza is just a great guy. Like I said, he's the more of a better person you are, I feel like just the more blessings you will get. And Fernando Mendoza, he's a great person. Like, he didn't even go to the NFL draft. He was with his family, with his mom. His mom was sick. He told them to come to him. And if you're the first rounder, first pick, you get those opportunities. So he's just a great guy. And on the quarterback level, he knows the game. He just makes the right reads, the right throws, barely makes mistakes, and he's just a great leader for his team. And he's a guy that his guys that his guys can rally behind, win, lose, or draw. His guys can rally behind him regardless because they know that he's going to be there and still be the same person.
Well, before we talk about the skills and ability as a quarterback, I'm still, man, and when I saw the draft and they were talking about that catch that his receiver made in the back of the end zone, that's one for life, man, because how hard was it for him to make that catch and to come down with it to score a touchdown when they were losing in the final seconds of the game? What did you think about that play?
Man, it's just him staying poised. Being a quarterback, staying poised is one of the toughest things to do, at any level. Him just being poised in that moment and just being able just to make that unbelievable throw and catch. It was just crazy. I saw that game live too on the TV. It was pretty good.
Okay. Have you attended Indiana Hoosiers football game this past year, or your schedule didn't allow for it?
Nah, I didn't. I wish I did, but nah, I didn't.
Right. Okay. Well, being that you guys represented as well as you did, man, that was phenomenal. Now, you talked about his composure and his attributes as a quarterback, skill-wise, and just knowing the game. What would you say are some of the most important things for you to stay keyed in on as a quarterback, skill-wise and mental-wise?
Reading the Bible, keeping God first.
Okay.
God is the foundation of everything in life and sports and everything that you do. Really just keeping God first. If you keep God first and stay down to earth, everything will be great and everything will fall into your hands. Really, that's really my motto. I always keep God first, praying every morning, every night before I go to sleep, before I leave out in the morning to keep me blessed and just to keep me safe in this world. Really, that's really like the key thing, just to keep God first.
Okay. Now, do you have a quarterback trainer that you've been working with over the last couple of years?
Yes, I actually have a few. I have, my main. I actually have a lot. So my freshman year, I have like 4.
Team Rivers.
Man, I love all of my quarterback trainers. Without them, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, skill wise, at all. You got Greg Holcomb was my first ever quarterback trainer when I first started playing the position in 8th grade. You got Coach Brown down in Chicago, Athletic Connection. That's what I've been with him the longest, going on 4 years now.
Yeah.
You got Coach Anthony Morelli down in Indianapolis when I was at Warren Central. And then now at Fort Wayne, I've been working with Coach Antoine Taylor for the past year and a half. Just being under those guys and getting all of their knowledge was just a blessing because all of their knowledge put together is just a quarterback guru. Like, those guys are smart and they know what they're talking about. So just being able to get trained by those guys was just a blessing for me, and I'm thankful for having them put their time, energy, and effort into making me the quarterback that I am today.
Well, I thank them for being a blessing to you, man. I mean, to have that many guys to touch your life and work with you in that way. And you say you've been playing quarterback since what, 8th grade?
Yes, sir. 8th grade.
Okay. Have you just, what would you say has been the biggest thing you've grown in since 8th grade to now as a quarterback?
I say my mental part of the game,
Yeah.
like my physical abilities, 6'3", 220, that's God gifted size. But I say my mental part of the game, knowing coverages, knowing where to put the ball, knowing when to get the ball out, knowing my protections, knowing the schemes of defenses, knowing the game plan, really just my brain and excellence of being able to process those things faster has really developed throughout the years.
Well, I like hearing you say that because for me, man, critical thinking is a very integral part of what I do. And man, when you can critical think or you can process faster, I mean, almost like, I won't say like a computer, but definitely you're doing it at that kind of speed. It definitely makes a big difference in the way you play the game and how successful you can be. So is that something that your trainers have worked with you on to be more mentally adept at making decisions and making the right decisions?
Yes, sir. Every day, every single time we train, we have down here in Fort Wayne. Pretty much every time we have chalk talk at the end of every training session. So we'll go on the whiteboard, we'll draw up a coverage, we'll draw up a play, and one of my trainers, my trainer's son, Deuce Taylor, he actually trains me too. He's Coach Antoine's son. he would have us play this game where we would have a coverage and we would have a formation, and then we would have a time down and distance, and we would have to be able to draw a play that'll fit that description of where you're at on the field and how much time is left to be able to have a successful play and move the chains. So things like that, down in Indy, every day after every session, we had to point out coverages at the end of every session, coverages 0 through 6, every day, just to have that engraved in our brain, just to be able to process things. Because nowadays, quarterback, it's all mental now. Everybody can throw the football. This who can go out there and process information the fastest and be consistent.
Well, it sounds like you have definitely just zeroed in on uh, everything that they have poured into you, man, because you are just, I don't doubt that you can't be a quarterback trainer yourself one day or a head football coach or whatever, because you're definitely keyed in. Who are some of the quarterbacks, whether it be pros or college, that you really admire their skill sets and the way they play the game?
Um, I admire one. This is a great guy, Michael Penix Jr. That's who I've watched. I've watched ever since he was at Washington. You got Shadur Sanders, Cam Ward, Patrick Mahomes. I really love Patrick Mahomes, the way he's just a game changer, a playmaker, just the way he maneuvers and just uses different tools, different things to get the ball to his guys. But really, just one person that I really key in on is Michael Penix, because he's a lefty just like me, and so I like his play style. He's a gunslinger. He's not afraid to take that shot, and he's not afraid to get it in that tight window and just deliver it to the receiver. And he can use his legs whenever he uses his legs to hurt you. Like my coach said, and coming up in college, he likes quarterbacks that can use his legs, that can use their legs to hurt you. So Michael Penix, he does that all the time, and he's been very successful, playing for the Atlanta Falcons. So that's one guy that I really like, and I watch his film every day.
Well, in all the guys I've spoken to over the years, man, when I ask about quarterbacks, you're the first guy to say Michael Penix.
Mm-hmm.
You're the first guy to say Michael Penix. And the fact that, like Michael Penix, like yourself, like Michael Vick, that left-handed quarterback, man, he is deadly because the ball comes differently. Your schemes change because he's throwing it from the different side of the field, and I think what helped me zero in on a left-handed quarterback was when Mark Brunell played for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they always talked about his right tackle, Tony Baselli, being his guardian. That's the guy that's got your back to keep guys off you from coming up behind you. But it's because of that. So that definitely made me zero in on a guy like that. So to hear you speak about Michael Penix, man, and the things he does. But yeah, you named and quoted some outstanding quarterbacks, man, who are definitely are making their name. Of course, Patrick Mahomes, you don't have to say much about him. I mean, his game has said it all, and yeah, so that's a good thing. Well, look, Jaydin, we're getting ready to take this time out, man, but let me tell you, we got a mental performance expert that's a part of what we do. He's going to have his segment tonight, and what he likes to talk about right now is confidence and being focused and confident. So when we come back, I'm going to ask you, how do you deal with staying refocused when you might be taken off that key, and what you have to do. But we're going to talk about that when we come back. Then we're going to talk about where you're taking your talents in June. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Tonight on the Post Route, phenomenal young man from Fort Wayne, Indiana, Northside High School, the Legends, Mr. Jaydin Rivers. We're excited to have him on our show tonight. Very good, articulate young man, and we're happy to have him. So now, what we want to do is let you know that, hey, it is still April. So it is still Masters Month. We're in the last week of Masters Month. So our special on our gear, our merchandise is still available to you. It is good through April 30th. Go online, click on our store. You can get your quarter-five back hoodie, your quarter-five back t-shirt. Remind you that, hey, when you get one or the other, there's a bonus gift coming to you. And if you get both items, you'll get 3 items, bonus items. So with the t-shirt, you get a ball marker. With a hoodie, you get a sleeve of golf balls. And then if you buy all 3 of them, you'll get a flask, the ball marker, and a sleeve of balls with the quarterfireback logo. Go to our website, check into the store. Quarterfireback.com is our website. Go to the store, order your hoodie or t-shirt now while you can get these extra gift items, because after April 30th, they won't be available again until next Masters Month. So that's quarterfireback.com for you to get our merchandise. It's available now to you. Then, to learn more about Black quarterbacks, what they've done in the past, get the book that I wrote in 2022, The Forgotten QBs, The Little Known History, Information and Statistics about Black Quarterbacks in American College Football. I guarantee you, if you get a copy of my book and read it from cover to cover, you will be more educated about Black quarterbacks, who they are, what they've done, and why their legacy resounds with us so much. We are proud of this book, as we are of our organization. $35 is the cost for the book. Again, click on quarterfireback.com, go to the store, and you can get a copy of the book. Now, as we like to do, we like to bring you our mental performance expert with another segment under the title Psyched Up. Listen to Dr. William Kitchings Jr. tell you about confidence in this segment.
You've done the work, you've prepared, and then the moment arrives and it still doesn't feel the way you expected. That's not a confidence problem, that's a focus problem. And knowing the difference changes everything. I'm Dr. William Kitchings Jr., and this is Psyched Up. Last session, we talked about how confidence is built through specific, repeatable preparation that gives your mind something real to trust. But here's what most athletes don't account for. Even well-prepared athletes experience doubt under pressure. Not because their preparation failed, but because pressure shifts attention away from execution and towards consequences. Research in attentional control theory shows that anxiety under pressure doesn't eliminate skill. It redirects attention. When focus moves towards outcome or evaluation, cognitive efficiency drops and execution becomes inconsistent. The prepared athlete and the struggling athlete often have the same prep. The difference is where attention goes when the stakes rise. That is why confidence under pressure isn't about feeling ready. It's about staying task-focused when your mind wants to drift towards the result. Research on pre-performance routines in elite sport shows that athletes who use structured behavioral cues before executing, a breath, a focal point, a physical reset, are more consistent at directing attention back to execution-relevant information. Not because the routine is magic, but because the routine is practice. It becomes the on-ramp back to focus. Before your next high-pressure rep, whether that's a drill, a scrimmage, or a live game situation, build a 2-step attention anchor. First, a reset cue you own completely, a breath, a tap, a specific movement. Second, one task-specific execution cue. Not a motivational phrase, something like footwork first or eyes to the target. The physical cue closes the door on consequence thinking. The execution cue opens the door to performance. That sequence is trainable, but it has to be built deliberately in low stakes environments before it holds in high stake ones. That's where the real work happens. Confidence under pressure isn't a feeling you summon. It's an attention skill you train. Direct your focus deliberately and let execution confirm what preparation already built. I'm Dr. William Kitchings Jr., and this is Psyched Up, a space built for the moments behind the moments.
Well, there you have it, because confidence is a one thing that can make or break situations. Welcome back to the show now. Our guest tonight, Mr. Jaydin Rivers from Fort Wayne Northside High School up there in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Glad to have him on tonight. And this young man, he is a top high school quarterback, so we're looking forward to having him. Jaydin, welcome back to the Post Route, man. Well, the pictures said better than I ever could. Jaydin Rivers, our guest tonight from Fort Wayne Northside High School. Yes, indeed. You saw him right there doing his thing. Man, you look real good in those clips, man. Very good. So, based on what Dr. Kitchings was saying tonight, man, I just got one quick question for you. So, when you're in situations and things aren't going well, what are some of the things you do to kind of reboot or refocus to get your confidence back?
Really, are you talking like in-game situations or
Yes,
after in-game?
in-game situation. Yeah.
In games, I really just, I take the times, I breathe in and out, I breathe in and out. I just go back to my training. I really lean back on my training heavily. When everything's going wrong, I go back to what my trainers has taught me, and 10 times out of 10, that's always worked for me. So really, just going back to the fundamentals and what I've been taught really gets me out of those messed up situations.
And of course, as you prepare to go on to that next journey, let's talk a little bit about, now that high school is over for you, where you're taking your talents for the upcoming fall.
I'm taking my talents to San Bernardino Valley College down in California, junior college down in San Bernardino Valley.
Okay. And you were telling me a little bit earlier that that's a quality conference down there, kind of Division II, but it's a lot of talent down there. It's a lot of competition.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So how did you end up getting to San Bernardino Valley Community College? I mean, did someone fly you in? Did the coach come up there? I mean, how did they know about you all the way in Indianapolis? I mean, Indiana.
Coach Griffin just saw my film, and he just loved my body type and just the way I spin the ball, the ways I can use my feet to get positive gains, and he really likes Indiana guys. So, for me, it was a no-brainer. The way that he knows and his knowledge about the game and the plan that he has for me at this level is just unmatched. And, I know if I can trust somebody, if I can trust my head coach, things will be great. And, he's gained my trust so far. He's just a great guy. He's a very great coach, a well-known coach, and he knows the game very well. He's been around the game for plenty of years. He's coached at Mater Day. He's been coaching. He's been coaching with great guys, top guys. He's coached Bryce Young. He's coached top quarterbacks that's been at a level that I want to be at, and they're still there. So really, just to be able to look up to a guy like him is very great, and to have him as my head coach is a blessing also.
Well, you dropped some names on me just then, man. Bryce Young, and the fact that he played at Mater Day, man, that's heavy. So now that you know where you're headed, what kinds of expectations are you putting on yourself when you get to San Bernardino Valley?
My expectations for myself is to come in there and take the job, as usual. And I'm just going in there to be in there, the best teammate for my team, and being in the moment and stand on earth, stand to the ground, not getting a big head, being the humblest and just going in, working every single day, being there is a blessing, being at any level on the collegiate level is a blessing. So going in there, being a leader for my teammates, being a great guy for the community, helping out the kids, helping out any way that I can, to just to be like a role model to everybody that comes across me as a person.
So while you were in high school this past year, did you do any community activities or any type of community things for kids in the community that you can speak about?
Yeah. So my coach, Coach Courtney, he coaches one of the so down here we have something called Metro football. So
Okay.
my position coach, he needed help, coaching the kids and somebody to, help the quarterbacks out. So over the summer, after practices, I would go to their practices, help out the kids, help out the quarterbacks, just any position that really needed help. And, those guys actually came to the games. We took pictures.
Okay.
I'd be at the barbershop. Kids be like, "Aren't you the quarterback at the North Side?" So just being able to know that I hold that much, memories to the kids, and just being there for them is really just it like blesses my heart, because that's all I really wanted to do when I took that opportunity to help out the kids, because I was once in that situation, in those shoes, that they were looking up to the older guys, so I just wanted to be that guy for them.
Well, that's a great thing to be, man, when you can give back and do for others, because you never know who's looking at you. And for you to be in a barbershop or somewhere and they question you or ask the question, aren't you that guy? Yeah, somebody's watching you.
Yeah.
Now, I got to ask you, you're getting ready to get out of all that cold Indiana weather and go to the cozy confines of Southern California. Aren't you going to miss Indiana's weather, man?
Not at all. I love the hot weather. I love the
Okay.
just the consistency of it. Indiana's not so consistent, but down there it's consistent. It's 80 every day. It's 80 plus every single day. So,
well, you certainly won't have to be packing in winter clothes.
no, that's for sure.
Well, that's great. That's a great thing to be able to go down there, man, and have an attitude of wanting to compete, but yet feel confident that you're going in there with the expectation of becoming the number one quarterback at San Bernardino Valley, because that's a big plus. We talked a little bit earlier too about leadership. Talk a little bit about your style of leadership and what you like to really focus in on as a leader.
As leaders, I like to focus on staying consistent with my guys. Of course, everybody can have one great day, but really just keying on my guys to being consistent and being the same every single day, giving your best every single day. If I can see you go 100% one day, and I see you going 80% one day and 60%, then back to 100, I kind of harp on my guys like that, because consistency builds perfection. If you're consistent at something, odds are you're going to be perfect at it. But really just being there and leading as a role model too, having my game speak for myself too, because guys are going to respect you if you're out there knowing what you're doing, making plays. So being that guy that just go out there, that being a guy that those guys can trust on the field is really just a big thing. Just gaining my guys' trust, being able to make the right plays, hype my guys up after big plays, even if I'm not in at quarterback for the reps, still hyping them up and just being there for them, because I want to see my guys win.
Well, you're not only a leader on the field, man, you're also a leader at home. Let's talk a little bit about your number one, your biggest fan that is always there to cheer you on, your baby brother there. Talk a little bit about him, because the transition of you going to California, man, is going to be quite different for both of you. So talk a little bit about your younger brother.
Oh, man, my younger brother, sir, he's a very interesting individual. I love that boy to death. I go to war for him. I take a bullet for him. I do anything for him. Even though he could be a headache sometimes, but love him, so much. He also plays football too. So just being there for him, throughout my senior year was just a blessing. I got very close to him. I know it's gonna be sad leaving him behind. I wouldn't want to do that, but I know he's gonna be great, very great on his own. Just being there, being him. Now he's the man of the house. Living with my mom, so he's gonna have to, carry the shoes. So I believe in him, and I know that he can do it. He's just, he's he's only 12, so but he's gonna be able to, fill my shoes and be there for my mom whenever she needs help with anything. Just being that role model. I feel like he's gonna be a very successful person, and just I love him so much.
Well, he's gonna be y'all gonna be blowing up that phone, man. I already know. The phone is gonna be blowing up, almost daily. The phone is blowing up, but that's a good thing, man, because that helps you to keep an eye on him. And he's still gonna want to lean on you, even though you're saying, well, you're the man of the house now. Yeah, but yeah, you're a long ways away. But he's got to know that, hey, you're a phone call away from being wherever he needs you to be. So yeah, that's an important thing. And I know your mother is real appreciative of what you're pouring into him to be the best young man he can be, and of course to do the good things and the right things, and to avoid those things that aren't good for him. Absolutely. Okay. Now, I got a chance to talk to your dad, and when I spoke to him, man, when I found out his name was David Rivers, the first thing that came to mind was like, are you the guy that used to play basketball at Notre Dame? He's like, nah, that's not me. I'm like, oh, okay. But then when we connected, he said, yeah, man, I went to FAMU. I was like, uh-oh. That was all I needed to hear, because I'm a graduate of FAMU too. So, man, our conversation, instead of ending right then, man, it went for another 20 minutes, me and him talking, man. So it was a great thing to talk to him, man. And then we talked about you and your experience, man. So yeah, that was a beautiful thing, man. As you've talked about your coaches being the role models for you, I know your dad is in your life. And what has he meant to you, being a quarterback and a football athlete?
Man, my dad is he's the building foundation of everything.
Yeah.
When it comes to me being an athlete, he's on me every single day. When it comes to my diet, the way I act, what I post, everything, he's on me because he knows what it takes. And my dad was an athlete too, so he's not telling me anything to harm me. My dad he's a great person. He's a great man, successful man. Without him, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now to this day. I'm thankful for him. I love him too dearly. I just, man, without him, I'm just speechless, because without him, I wouldn't be able to be on the screen with you right now. I wouldn't be able to have the skills that I have right now without him making all the sacrifices that he has made. I'm really blessed, to have him as my father, for sure, for real.
Well, I appreciate you showing that much love for your dad, man, because dads need to hear that from sons, because we know and understand the bond between a mother and a son, but dads need to know that, hey, man, dad, you are critically important to me just as much. So they need to know that you love them, because they certainly, and I'm speaking as a father with two sons, is definitely makes a big difference when you can exchange those three words of I love you between dad and son, son and dad. So yeah, man, that's critically important. Do you have like a foundation or anything? I want to give you an opportunity to talk about it. Foundation, if you're doing anything like that, if you got one. If not, we'll talk about something else, but I want to give you opportunity, if you do have one, to speak on it.
My foundation, what do you mean by foundation?
I mean, some guys have started their own foundation to do things to help people or to raise money and things like that. So I didn't know if you may have one of those or not. So I just wanted to give you an opportunity, if you did have one, to speak on it. So that's good. Not a problem, but something as you transition and grow, it's just a way to give back. It's just a way to give back and continue to grow you. Now, as you get ready to transition to the college area, academically, what do you think you're going to major in when you get to college?
Business.
Business. Any particular part of business? Because there's
Business
a lot of
business management for sure.
business management. Okay. All right. Do you even think about maybe having your own business?
Yes, sir. It's actually thinking about becoming my own trainer one day. Like you said, being a quarterback trainer. So I want to have my
Okay.
own business doing that.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you, man, you get to California, man, you might not want to leave.
People have told me that.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. You get out there, it's like, nah, I don't want to go back to that cold weather, man. I'm happy right here in all this sun and fun, man. So that's the great thing. Um, Now I didn't get a chance to see what number were you wearing this past year?
Number 12.
And you wore number 12 because of what quarterback?
Actually, it stuck with me my freshman year. My freshman year, I was given number 12, and ever since then, I just kept number 12. It's really
Okay.
significant to me. I didn't really get the number because another quarterbacks. I really want to create my own legacy with the number 12, so that's why I use it.
Now let me ask you this question. What are your thoughts about being a black quarterback and the importance of black quarterbacks, not only in college, but at the pro level? What are your feelings and thoughts about that?
Really just, black quarterbacks being that role model to younger guys and younger black men just in general. Because, us black men, we're already behind the eight ball. It's already in most situations. So we really just got to keep our head focused. Nowadays, we're hearing about us. It's a different story every single day. And those guys that are in the league, like Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, those key role models, Jalen Hurts, he's a great guy. He's a motivational speaker. And I listen to his speeches sometimes, throughout the school day. And I feel like Jalen Hurts really impacts the black community and black excellence because he's just that perfect role model, smart guy. Every single black quarterback in the league has done something that we really just it's really hard because us black quarterbacks we have to deal with so much stuff and just black men in general is just really just hard. And seeing that those guys can make it and do it really inspires us black men to just being able to know that we can really achieve whatever we want in life, even if it's sports, business, anything like that. We can really achieve it if we put our mind to it, even with us being behind the eight ball.
Well, you're speaking so much wisdom and knowledge on that point, Jaydin, because all those things you said are actual and true. And the fact that when you understand what you're up against in life, in society, and how important it is to carry yourself and conduct yourself in ways that maybe other folks don't have to do, man, it's important. I believe young black men have a target on their back early in life. And the more you drift away from being concerned about who you are, where you are, your character, and things like that, the easier it is for people to take advantage of you or put you in situations that you can't get out of, or it causes you some harm and damage. So I'm glad to hear you say those things. If you had to identify a particular black male role model figure, who would that be for you?
Like I say, my dad. And my
Okay.
dad, yeah, my dad and pretty much my trainer, Coach Brown, Antoine Taylor, but really the
Okay.
mentors is like my dad. My dad teaches me just to be that head straight guy, staying down to earth, staying humble because things can change like this. They can change in a snap. So my dad always teaches me to go back to where I came from. Even when I'm in Fort Wayne's, I would go back to Chicago for a weekend, train with the guy that's been there for the start. So my dad really just been that role model for me and just giving me the knowledge of what it means to be a black man in this world.
Well, kudos to your father, man, and kudos to you for having that kind of relationship. And hey, the fact that you can tell me those things mean you've been listening. And sometimes people, they hear but they're not listening. But that tells me you've been listening and you've been paying attention. So hey, man, congratulations on that. Well, as we get ready to close out the show, Jaydin, man, thank you again for accepting our invitation to be a guest on our show. This part of the show, man, to me is that part that really, really means the most to me because as I've grown this organization over the last 4 years and watched it take on its own life and seeing that we've been able to touch a lot of black men and a lot of black quarterbacks, even guys from 8 years old to older, all the way up to 70, 80 years old. it's just a rewarding thing to know that they're valuing what we're doing as our mission to preserve the legacies, because again, you're standing on some shoulders, somebody's going to be standing on your shoulders, and the guys whose shoulders you're standing on, they were standing on somebody's shoulder. So it all, it's a domino thing. It started with the one foundation and it builds up. So by you being our guest tonight, you have now, as they say, come into the brotherhood. You have now come into the brotherhood. So we would like to congratulate you and welcome you to the brotherhood of Black quarterbacks, known as Quarter Five Back, the preeminent fraternity of Black quarterbacks, man. Welcome to the brotherhood, and we are so glad and grateful to be part of what we're doing.
Thank you so much. I'm well honored. Thank you.
So now what's going to happen from this point is we will send you out your introductory letter by email. We will also send you your lifetime membership certificate, which means you'll be a part of what we're doing for the rest of your entire life. And then we have a small gift package that we send out to guys, primarily your lapel pin and a couple other things we send out so that you can represent, man, when you're out and when you're talking to people, you want to talk up who we are, what we're doing, and why it's important that what we're doing is being done, because there isn't anything else like that out there in the football world right now. There isn't another organization doing what we're doing. There isn't another organization presenting an award to just a Black quarterback, because some of these guys, man, they're not going to win those prestigious awards that you hear about every year simply because they're not in the big circle of quarterbacks. But what we're doing, we feel is important, and we like to keep up with you guys and let you know that, hey, we're here to support you. And if there's anything we can do for you, support you, however you need to lean on us for anything, please don't hesitate to call us, man, because that's what we're here for.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, hey, man, we're just glad that we were able to do what we did this past year on that watch list, man, because had you not showed up on the watch list, man, we probably still be struggling to get in touch with you, man. But when we found out about you and saw you were doing some things up there in Indiana, man, we were like, man. So we went from California to Indiana to Washington, the state of Washington. We were all over the place this year, but you were in a prestigious group of 25 guys on a weekly basis when you made the list. So we wanted to make sure that you know that, hey, other eyes and other people are watching you, man, and we definitely appreciated your talent. So continued success, Jaydin. You stay healthy, you stay safe out there in California, man. And again, we're going to be looking to hear from you this upcoming fall, man. And again, please give our warmest wishes to your mom. Bless her. God bless the rest of the family. And again, keep your eyes and ears on Sir, man, and continue to be the fine young man that you are.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
When we go off, I want you to stay on because I need to get a little bit more information from you after we go off the air. So just stick around and we'll get to you as soon as we close out. All right?
All right. Thank you.
All right, great. Well, what a great interview we had tonight with our guest, Jaydin Rivers, Fort Wayne Northside High School, home of the legends from Fort Wayne, Indiana, taking his talents to Southern California for San Bernardino Valley Community College. So we were looking forward to hearing how he's going to do. That's going to do it for us tonight. Want to hit him with our logo for being in the fraternity now, because he is now a part of that esteemed group of members of Quarter Five Back. So we like to let everyone know that, hey, we've just added one more brother to the fraternity. So until next Monday night, when we bring you another one of these fine young men that we talk to, I want to say thank you to our crew, our dedicated staff and crew, Ronleen Kennedy, C.D. Lazier, Will Relaford, and Dr. William Kitchings Jr. Until next Monday night at 7 p.m., as we always say, hey, go deep and go for the bomb. See you next week on the Post Route, everybody. Take care.